Hello everyone, this is Jolrael, and I'm bringing you an impression video on EVE Online. So far, this is only after playing for about 2 weeks, roughly. Um, I still have a few more days on my trial account, but a lot of people have been kind of questioning, is EVE Online worth it? Is it worth the money and time investment? I'd say yes. Um, money wise, that's something that I kind of like about Eve. It's $15 a month standard, but one of the things that Eve does that a lot of other games don't do is you can pay for your subscription with in game currency. So if you make enough during the month, you can pay for your subscription from there and not have to spend real world money. I think that's kind of cool. But for those of you who don't know what Eve is, Eve's a futuristic space game where you are a pilot who flies various ships around to achieve your goals. That is a very nitty gritty, cut and dry summary of kind of what Eve is, and I know I could go into greater detail, but I just don't have the time with all I'm wanting to cover. Um, One thing that I will let you know of about Eve, though, it does take up quite a lot of time to kind of get started. Um, a lot of people they skip the tutorial, but in Eve it has a fairly steep learning curve where if you don't actually read the tutorial, then you're going to have a pretty difficult time navigating around. It took about 2 hours for me to finally start kind of getting the hang of things. Um, you know, the training though, like for instance, up here, here's my character sheet. Joel Rael Fulger, that's my character name. If you want to contact me, just send me a mail and I'll do my best to reply to it. But if you open up the training queue, I've already gotten a subscription, so I'm able to do more than 24 hours. Uh, Up here, it says it'll finish in 8 days, 19 hours, 4 minutes, and 45 seconds. What that means is it's going to finish in 8 days, 19 hours, 4 minutes, and 40 seconds. It's real time training. So there's not like a speed up game time that you can do. Like you literally just have to wait for it. But while you're waiting for it, you can do all sorts of stuff. Like, for instance, the profession that I've decided to take up is mining. I enjoy mining. It works with my schedule in college because I can have Eve running on the background, and I could be working on homework. Mining doesn't take a whole lot of focus over here in high security system, which you can see the security system up here. Um, so it works with my schedule, and you can make it's Eve is pretty flexible. But if you're wanting to go more of the combat route, like PvP, PvE, that sort of thing, it's gonna take a lot more focus. So you might not be able to either play as much or have to delegate your time efficiently. Uh, what are some other things you can do? There's a thing in here called faction warfare, where there are 4 races in the game, and you can enlist in your faction side or an ally faction side, and uh, basically do war games against enemy players. It's if you've ever played Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefront 2, or anything like that, it's a lot like the Galactic Conquest, where you're trying to take systems from your opponents, and whoever has the most systems at the end of it wins. At least that's my understanding of it. You can do exploration, where you can go around and hack different satellites and stuff like that for money. That's an entirely legitimate way of earning money. And in lower security systems and zero security systems, also called nullsec, that's a viable option to pay for your membership because you'll get a lot of money that way. Um, what do I do? Like I said, I'm a miner, and right here, as you can see, I'm uh, using this small little yellow ship. It's called the Venture. It's the basic rookie mining ship. It like as you can see, I've filled up with luminous kernite. That's most common over in my sector. So I can go here and dock. You don't actually
Warp drive
like
active.
you can control your ship with the arrow keys, but it's not advised. It's way too difficult to do, in my opinion. But I mean, some of you may be good at it. I'm just not. You basically just click, tell it to go somewhere, and it'll go do it. That's what it is. And see here, I am coming up on a station. Uh, Here I'm gonna be docking,
Docking permission
unloading my
requested.
cargo, and going back out to start mining again. I mean, it's a viable way of money.
Docking request accepted.
Uh, I also do some PVE uh, on the side. Like if I'm not in the mood to mine, I will just go and face some pirates. But they're also called rats in this game. Uh, it's like I'll drop this into my stock and then undock. See, here's the inside of the station. Pretty nice. I prefer one of the other factions' stations, but whatever. This is where my corporation is. Um,
Warp drive
I
active.
like the graphics in the game. I mean, like once I get to the, actually, I can probably zoom in. I mean, bad. Uh, Look at the graphics and the detail that these guys went into for just like a basic ship. I mean, I was rather impressed. I mean, and it this is a very basic ship. Um, really doesn't have that big of a hold for mining ships, and it's really not all that good. But it's what I've got for right now, so I kind of have to roll with it until I am able to use the better ships. And I left my drones here. Great, my bad. Um, but one thing that I really like about this game is, like, if you've ever played games like World of Warcraft, RuneScape, um, things like that, where they have multiple servers and like different worlds, like, you could be playing on in. I'm going to be using RuneScape as an example. You can be on world 73 and be playing on there. And then a friend logs on and they're on world 56. Well, normally one of you would have to log off and then switch worlds to go and play with them. Here, that's not the case. It's one massive server. So, like, everyone who plays Eve is literally on the same server. I mean, they do server maintenance every day at around 5 o'clock my time, but that's just to kind of refresh the server, make sure it can handle all the stuff that's going on. But if you join a corporation or have some friends that are over in one section of the system or one section of the map, you can go over there and play with them. You don't have to like switch worlds because there's only one world. Um, in here, there are four factions. There's the Caldari, the Amar, the Minmatar, and the Galente. I'm sorry if I mispronounced those. That's how I pronounce them. Um, Personally, I went with the Caldari because I like energy shields. That's kind of what they do. Uh, and one thing that I really like about this game is there's actual like sense of faction pride. I mean, like the right now the Caldari and the Amar are in an alliance with each other, so I can use Amar stations and starports, and they can use Caldari. But if I wanted to go use Minmatar or Galente, I'd likely be shot. Uh, Speaking of getting shot, I'm actually, even though I'm in a high security system, I'm not safe. I mean, like someone could come up and warp into the system and gank me. I mean, it's a every time you undock from a station, you are a viable target. I mean, in high security systems, it's not a big issue because really, like, there's the police force called Concord. They'll respond really quickly and destroy whoever attacks you. You'll probably get destroyed in the process, but that's only if you're in a small ship. Um, but in the lower security systems and in zero security, the police presence is very thin or non-existent. So it's basically like the Wild West out in nullsec and lowsec. I mean, it's just very little law, and player corporations and alliances can actually not officially own systems, but it's basically kind of like they control the territory there. So I've seen some alliances, at least on videos, not personally, because I haven't ventured out that far just yet, where they have turf wars. So like one alliance will say, "I really like this system, but it's owned by this alliance. Let's take them out and take the system for ourselves." People do that. It's not uncommon. Another thing is the community. I love the community here. Everyone's really nice. Or let me correct myself there. Most everyone's really nice. There are some people that um, they just, I mean, sorry to say, they're just not nice people. They will do everything they can to make your life miserable, and it sucks. It really does. I've had a few, like this is actually my third venture that, like my third mining venture that I've had because people see that I'm in a low grade mining ship and they're like, "Oh, hey, I can get an easy kill." So, I'm going to take them out. I mean, Concord destroys them about 10 seconds later, but I mean, whatever. I've got enough money right now that I can pay for quite a few ventures. But I mean, a good chunk of the community, they're willing to help. Like there are alliances called, well, I don't know if it's a corporation or alliance. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a corporation called Eve University. It's a massive, massive group of people that where their sole purpose is to help new players learn the game. And I mean, they pride this is reading it off of their website. They say 98% of the people who join Eve University subscribe to the game. I don't know if that part's true. It could be propaganda, but that's up for you to decide. I never joined them because I didn't know about them until after I'd already joined a corporation. So, but I mean, for the most part, everyone here is willing to help. I mean, they kind of keep to themselves, but if you join a corporation, um, I think you'll really enjoy it because, like for instance, my corporation is staged up in Canada, but I'm over in the United States, and we just kind of chat back and forth. It's kind of cool. Um, I have some friends that I met on here from Russia. There's some people here from China. I mean, it's really cool, kind of talking with people all over the world while, say, sitting here mining or doing some combat or some anything like that. It's just really cool. It's a really awesome experience. I can't stress that enough. Um, Finally, my conclusion. Is it worth the time? Is it worth the money? Most definitely. It was just so much fun. I mean, everything like you can do whatever you want pretty much in here. You can build things, you can research things, you can go off and be a pirate, you can mine, you can go and fight people, you can fight against pirates. I love that sort of thing. It's just really cool. So I mean, should you try it out? I mean, just try it out. You know, don't I mean, listen to me if you want to, but I'd say at the very least you should try it out. Like I said, it has a fairly steep learning curve, but if you read through the tutorial, you'll do fine. I mean, I was hooked the moment I finished the tutorial because I actually knew what I was doing. That's it for my impression video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave a comment below. Like the video if this helped you at all. If you need any questions answered or anything along that, feel free to send me a message. I'll bring up my character name, Joelrael Fulgur. Just send me a mail, and I'll do my best to answer it. Like I said, I don't have many skill points right now. Like I'm just a new player, but I'm in a corporation that has really helped out. They are really nice. This is Joelrael, and I'm signing off.